Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 10, Episode 16, Denise and Desist. This is the Season 10 finale, you guys, and I know it's been rough at times. I know it has produced anxiety and anger in us at times, but like it or not, it wasn't boring, and Denise and Desist is a really good title. I'm just gonna put that out there. You guys told me, a couple of you guys in the comments said that Denise had a cease and desist against Brandy, I guess. I guess Brandy said that. I missed it. I totally missed that. But it appears as though that order has expanded. Yeah. Let's just get into it. This episode starts with a montage of scenes from everything leading up to now. So various scenes from episodes 1 through 15. And do you guys remember how ominous this whole season started with? It was like a movie trailer. They were breaking the fourth wall then, and it was like talking to producers, do you think Denise is coming back? And Rinna's saying, oh, I don't think we're ever going to see Denise Richards again. And then I think it was Kyle who said, it started so great. How could we know in just a few short months it would all go so wrong? You know, I was like, dun, dun, dun. You know, so now we are getting this timeline where the screen goes dark and then it says Thursday. It always seems so dramatic to me when they tell you like the exact time of something or the date, you know. We are at Sutton's store and she's there with Kyle. We get a little flashback to when they kind of first met. It was right after Kyle's fashion show, and Sutton told her she was opening the store and that she would like to collaborate with her and show some of her line in her store. So since Sutton has agreed to show some of Kyle's collection in her boutique, that's what's happening now. Sutton's got to make good on that promise. We check in with Garcelle and her writing partner, Lisa. We saw those two earlier in the season as well when they were meeting with a potential writer. Well, they're having a meeting now with another producer and the writer that they've chosen. I don't think it was the same one, was it? I don't think it was the one that was changing everything. This woman really loved the story and she said, I read your script and I thought, oh, this is a story that needs to get made. So the movie is a psychological thriller and it's called Split Marriage. I don't know anything more than that, but I'm already kind of excited to see it. Now we check in with Dorit and PK, and they're talking to their party planner because they're having a big housewarming party. Unclear what time of year this is because it looks like Dorit has Christmas decorations up and Halloween. I don't know. Plus she's hired a magician, so it feels a little strange to me. Dorit and PK sit down and Dorit is telling him about all the troubles the ladies are having, what it was like in Rome and that kind of thing. And she said, I feel like everyone is coming after Denise and I need to defend her. I just feel obligated to challenge what Brandy was saying. And PK's like, yeah, that's not a friend, is it? And she's like, let me finish. He's like, but I'm just saying that PK, let me finish because you have to let me finish. And then Dorit goes, well, now I've lost my train of thought. Welcome to the club, Dorit. That's how I have to fight with my husband. Either I don't want him to interrupt what I'm saying or I'll forget, or I need him to let me interrupt, or I will forget the thing that I was about to say that I know was important. Anyway, PK, I'm going to have to admit this, says just about the smartest thing I have ever heard somebody on these shows say. And it was, well, I don't care. Don't involve me in this at all. I only care if they're attacking you. Dorit's like, well, this time it's not me that they're after. And he said, well, let's keep it that way. Good point. Do not look for trouble where there is none. Okay, now, guys, it's Friday. The party is Saturday, by the way. I should mention that first. Okay, so now we're at Teddy's house and Lisa Rinna is over. And they both FaceTime Erica. As we all know, she's in New York doing Chicago on Broadway. Side note, so far everyone has been in a baseball cap supporting their own brand. And the last scene with Dorit and PK, Dorit was wearing a Beverly Beach baseball cap. Now Teddy is in an All In by Teddy baseball cap. And Rinna's got a baseball cap on that says Soul something. I don't know what her brand is. Soul Sucker? I think the point of this FaceTime was just so that we all know that Erica is not going to be at Dorit's housewarming party on Saturday, which I think we all kind of figured, right? Also, I guess this scene is taking place so that Rinna can ponder whether or not she hasn't been a good friend to Denise, or perhaps Denise hasn't been a good friend to her. Let's think about this for 1 second. You encouraged Teddy to talk about her affair with Brandy on camera. So, pretty sure it was the first part where you weren't a good friend to Denise. Don't think you need to wrestle over that one anymore, Lisa. All right, guys, Saturday. The people are setting up for Dorit's housewarming party, and glam squads across the city are working feverishly to get these ladies party ready. PK is in a marijuana leaf jacket. Dorit's like, oh, maybe not that tonight. And then under her breath, she's like, or ever. We see Garcelle, she's with her glam squad, and she talks about how she's nervous for Denise to see everybody again tonight. They're going together, and she was joking that they're probably going to have a few shots in the car just to take the edge off. Okay, Rinna arrives first at the party, and PK is trying to pawn off this non-alcoholic champagne that he makes. It's his branding or something, I don't know. And only after she tries it does he tell her it's his non-alcoholic champagne. And she's like, yum. What part of this group of ladies do you think wants something non-alcoholic at a party? I mean, other than Teddy, who actually, by the way, is thrilled that there's a non-alcoholic choice. That somebody, for once, has an offering for a pregnant woman. All right, other guests are starting to arrive now. Kyle shows up with the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. You know what, you guys? Side note, Faye Resnick should be a new housewife. Well, let me take that back, because she's too buddy-buddy with Kyle. We don't need another Kyle worshiper. We already have Teddy. I just love that she's not afraid to stand up to somebody, you know? And she's been around forever. Okay, so I guess it is Christmas time, because now that I'm seeing more of the house, there's a big tree and it's all decorated Christmassy. I'm still wondering what's up with that, like, drunken Harlequin in the sleigh with all these presents around him and stuff. Is that Christmassy? I think that's why I thought it was Halloween. Kyle walks up and she's like, oh, how cute is that? About that, like, slumped over Harlequin. The answer to how cute is that is not very. Oh, is this the night of 1,000 stars again? Adrienne Maloof just arrived. Does she even know Dorit? I'm trying to think back on whether their seasons overlapped at all. I feel like Adrienne was gone before Dorit came, but could be wrong about that. Or maybe they just know each other from other places too. And now Sutton is arriving with her boyfriend, Michael. How do I describe Sutton's dress? I love Sutton, you know I love her. And her clothing is oftentimes a work of art. This particular dress, with what looks to be paper plates sewn into it in various spots, is also a work of art, but maybe better suited for a wall. Listen, I am so here for her, like, visually interesting clothing. I love it, but oftentimes it's unflattering. That might be the problem tonight. It's interesting though, you guys. I would so much rather go to a party where women are dressed like Sutton than everybody in just, you know, little black cocktail dress or something. I think it's super interesting and cool. Again, I'm not sure it would flatter anybody, to be honest with you. Side note, you guys, is that Marisol in the background from Real Housewives of Miami? I think she arrived with Adrienne. It might be. Okay, now it's 7:40 p.m. and Garcelle and Michael pull up outside of Denise's hotel, it said. They're picking up Denise to take her to the party with them. Why is Denise in a hotel? Does anybody know? Did I miss something? I don't know where they live. I don't know California very well, and I don't know how far apart these women live from each other. Maybe she is staying at a hotel for a while because it's near where she works, or I don't know. Nobody explained it. It just, the Chiron said outside Denise's hotel. So like I said, they pull up and Garcelle calls her to let her know that they're outside. But she gets her voicemail. Then Garcelle and Michael have a cute little conversation in the car. Garcelle is saying she's hungry, but she did have chicken wings earlier. And Michael's like, oh, you get so animated when you talk about chicken. And she's laughing. And she goes, let's see how animated I get when we talk diamonds. And he's like, really? You want to have that talk? And she's laughing, and he goes, well, how many carats? And she goes, oh, I don't know. And he's like, come on, you have a minimum. And she said, I would never say that. No, I would never say that. And he goes, okay, so the ring is just a gesture then? And then she starts laughing and she goes, well, it's more than a gesture. So anyway, she keeps trying Denise, but it's going straight to voicemail. Okay, now it's 8 o'clock, and Dorit gives a speech to everyone, welcoming them to her new home, and then introducing the magician. Okay, so this guy is Simon Winthrop. In case any of you have ever heard of him or want to hire him, he is an illusionist and a mentalist. And the best part about him is that he's zeroed in on Teddy. He makes her hold out her hands and wiggle her fingers, and then he makes her diamond ring disappear. So a little more entertaining than I thought he was going to be. Chiron now says 8:25, and we're back with Garcelle and Michael. They are still outside waiting for Denise. I would not have waited that long for her, especially when you're ignoring my texts and calls. No. She gives her one more call before she leaves, and of course it goes straight to voicemail again. And then Garcelle in her confessional said, I get it if she doesn't want to go to the party. Totally understand that. But don't leave me hanging. Of course. Why would you do that to Garcelle, of all people? Okay, so Simon now is making a cigarette float in the air before it lands in his mouth, and he's done for the night. Garcelle arrives now, and she tells all the ladies that she got stood up by Denise. She's like, yeah, she didn't respond to any of my texts. I waited for her. So I do not blame Garcelle for being angry right now. Well, I don't know if she's angry, but like just being irritated. I would be. It's rude, and it made Garcelle really late to the party. Not that she totally cares, but still. Now all the women are making a point of running and checking their phones to see if Denise reached out to them. Really? Who among you thinks that Denise reached out to you, but not Garcelle? Other than Dorit, that one I understand because the party was at Dorit's house. But Rinna, you're checking your phone? Lisa's showing Dorit a few texts back and forth that she had with Denise either earlier that day or earlier in the week that basically said that Denise was going to be there. They were talking about what they were going to wear, stuff like that. And Denise said that, are you going with anyone? I'm going with Garcelle. So yes, at some point, Denise appeared to be planning to come to the party. And Dorit's like, I'm really, really getting scared. She might have been getting scared. I can understand that. I might have too. When I realized that she's not even talking to Garcelle, that would kind of make me a little bit nervous that maybe something happened. So Rinna tries to call her again, and she's like, oh, look, her phone's off. Or she blocked me. Dorit actually calls Aaron, and same thing, no answer. Now the ladies are all standing around together, and Garcelle said, Denise thought Brandy was coming. Is Brandy coming? And Dorit goes, no, of course not. I'm not even friends with Brandy. Kyle, hey everybody, let's go get a bite to eat. Right away. Let's change the subject. Hey everybody, look over there. There's no way that Kyle does not know that Brandy's coming. Because Kim's bringing her. So shady. And super shady to not tell Dorit. It's her housewarming party. So now the housewives are all sitting down together, eating. And Dorit tells the group that she got a call out of the blue yesterday from Camille Grammer. And Kyle goes, really? Somebody said they saw Denise and Camille walking together the other day. Who said that? Does Kyle have spies everywhere or what? Well, apparently Bravo shot footage of Denise at Camille's house. And it was just the night before. And of course, they're both complaining about the ladies, and Denise is telling Camille all about it. And Camille said, "Now you know what I went through." Denise is like, "And now I'm going to a party at Dorit's tomorrow." Dorit's like, "I have no intention of becoming friends with Camille again. I don't know why she reached out to me." And then Garcelle, she looks across the way and she goes, "Is that Brandy?" "Yeah, it is. With Kim, they just arrived." Dorit's like shoots her head back at Kyle and she goes, "Kim and Brandy are here?" And Kyle's like, don't look at me. Don't anybody look at Kyle Clean Hands Richards. She doesn't do anything. It's never her fault. Anyway, Dorit goes over to greet them like a good hostess. And she's like, "Oh, Kim, I didn't know your +1 was Brandy." And Brandy's like, "Oh, no, you didn't? Oh, well, thank you for having me." Yeah, she's not really having you, though. You weren't exactly invited, Brandy, and you probably know that. Then Sutton's talking to Brandy. Apparently, they know each other because they go to the same skincare person. And then Sutton tells Brandy, "Well, you're just the topic of conversation tonight." Brandy asks her if Denise is there, and Sutton tells her no. "You need to learn to keep your mouth shut a little." Brandy goes, "Yeah, that ain't happening." No, it's not. Brandy is who she is. Take it or leave it. So I guess what happened was Brandy texted Denise and said, "I'm going to see you tonight." And Brandy's like, I just wanted to give her a heads up, and I thought that we could talk privately because, it's no one else's business. What? You act like she just destroyed you on the inside. She made you a cheater. The one thing you can't possibly tolerate being. Really? Then why do you act friendly toward her? Why did you tell her and Aaron at Kyle's party that you want to be in a throuple with them? Really? Because you're so devastated with what she did to you? It's not adding up. It's not. This picture that Brandy is painting of her being a complete victim and Denise preying on her, it doesn't add up. Regardless of whether this is anybody's business or not, and it's not, something isn't accurate. Lying is happening on both sides. I'm pretty sure of that. The truth, and maybe the truth doesn't even matter, you guys. As I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I even care. But the truth has got to be somewhere in the middle of what both of them are saying. But Brandy saying, "I thought I could talk to a private here because this is no one's business but ours," is such BS. You told Kyle and Teddy on camera. Was it nobody's business then either? Side note, one of you guys pointed out to me that also during the season that Carlton the Witch was on, Brandy was making out with her. I don't know if they slept together, but they were making out together. So that's another married woman you were with. If you don't want to be a cheater, why don't you just stick with single women and men or whatever? Anyway, Garcelle, who wasn't at the baby shower long enough to be there when Brandy was, starts asking Brandy a lot of questions. Of course, Denise should be there right now because yet again, they're talking about her without her being there, but that's kind of on Denise. She would just deny everything anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, this ends with Dorit wanting to recreate the Trevi Fountain in Rome where they all threw the coin in behind their backs, and she wants them to all grab an ice cube and throw it into her backyard pool. It was fine. It was kind of cute, I guess. But this time, instead of Erica, who is in New York, we've got Kim and Brandy joining in. I mean, they were ex-housewives, but, so was Adrienne. I didn't see her there. Or Marisol, if that was Marisol. They're both former housewives too, so why weren't they throwing an ice cube into the pool? Now the screen says 15 minutes later, and we're back in the car with Garcelle and Michael, and there's a producer outside the car door. We can't see him, but we can hear him, because of course, the new trick of 2020 with Bravo is to break the fourth wall. We're doing it again here with whoever this is, a producer or whatever, off camera, telling Garcelle that they got a text that evening saying there was a family emergency and that Denise would not be coming to the party. I don't know if Garcelle wasn't acting dramatic enough for them or what, because then they kind of egg her on, whoever this is off camera, with, she didn't tell you, you've been the one defending her and now she bails on you. Super shady. Garcelle just goes, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, they're not wrong. That's true. That was shady and she shouldn't have done it. But they were baiting Garcelle, and I think she's smart enough to know that's what they were doing, and she wasn't going to play their game. Now the screen says Monday. We have Rinna, Garcelle, and Dorit meeting up for Christmas drinks at Grey Tavern. And Dorit goes, how are you girls? I haven't seen you since my party. Wasn't your party Saturday? It's Monday, 2 days ago. I don't know, that just seemed a little weird. And probably this is how the Housewives shows work all the time, to be sort of like vague about timelines. But because Bravo was giving us this exact timeline this whole episode, that was just 2 days ago. And you're acting like, oh, I haven't seen you guys since my party. Or do you normally see them every day? There's a couple other little like continuity things that seem a little funny to me later too. Anyway, she tells them that she was really worried about Denise, but that she got a text from her the day after her party. Yesterday. For those of you playing at home. Anyway, the text just said, sorry I missed your party. Talk soon. No explanation or anything like that. Garcelle says, I reached out to her on Sunday. So yesterday, the same day that she texted Dorit. I mean, if this is a different Monday, then Bravo should have said like 2 weeks later or whatever. But I don't think it is. I think this is all just 2 days after Dorit's party. Anyway, Garcelle tells them that Denise said, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to have to lie for me. Okay, that doesn't really make sense either, you guys. She's acting like that's why she didn't call Garcelle. Come on. If you don't want to put Garcelle in a bad position, then just tell her, I'm not going, I don't want to talk about it. Anything, so that you don't leave your friend waiting outside your hotel, waiting for you to come down. I feel like that was uncalled for. For those of you in the comments calling me out for being biased, here's the thing. I am still Team Denise. If I were a ride or die, though, I would be defending Denise's actions right now. And I'm not. And I never will. But yeah, I can side with somebody. These recaps and reviews are my point of view. I mean, the recap isn't. I'm telling you what happened. But then I'm also interjecting how I felt about what happened. So yeah, I am biased. I'm not a news anchor. This isn't my job. I'm not supposed to be impartial. Whosever side I'm on will sway with however they behave. For the most part, I feel like I'm on the side of like what I feel is right. And that always doesn't follow one single person. I'm also sometimes on the side of someone who is wrong as long as they entertain me. Yeah. Exhibit A and B would be Luann and Ramona. I love them both, and they are atrocious. That's just how it is. But as far as Denise, I don't think her affair should have been outed on camera for somebody else's personal gain. So for that reason, I'm on her side. But this was exactly the wrong way to handle things, and a very crappy way to treat the woman who actually had your back the entire season. Then Garcelle said that earlier that day, Denise called her and wanted to get together with her. So we see 5 hours earlier, Garcelle is all made up. She's getting in the car. She's ready to head to where Denise is. And a text pops up. It's at 4:32 p.m. It's from Denise Richards, basically canceling the plans at the last minute, saying, I'm sorry, I got caught up. I'm still here. I guess she's working. Listen, I get that she's busy too. That's fine. But don't keep making plans and then canceling at the last minute. You know, that's not cool. So she's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. Maybe we can get together with our men for dinner over the holidays. Anyway, so now Rinna is wondering, I wonder why she didn't reach out to me. Really? Garcelle goes, well, I think she sees you as the bad guy in this movie. And Rinna goes, oh, just like a villain would. And Dorit's like, she's deflecting. Okay, so now this is where this gets a little bit interesting. Rinna says, well, Denise thinks she can control the narrative. because that's what she's done her whole life. She goes on to say that Denise doesn't show up Saturday. Then the next day, first there was the post that Aaron put out of Denise in a hospital bed with 6 hernias. Then we see the picture that he must have posted on Instagram. Lisa goes, "Now guys, that's called a sympathy post. It happened 3 months ago, so why post it the day after the party? Because it makes it seem like she couldn't go to the party because she was recovering." And like the Daily Mail picked it up and said Denise Richards has emergency surgery for 4, well, they said 4 hernias. Lisa Rinna said 6. In any case, it wasn't good. More hernias than a girl should have. But Lisa's like, yep, it worked like a charm. Dorit and Garcelle don't really want to believe that that was done intentionally like that. Rinna tells them if they don't believe that Denise is capable of that, they're crazy. In her confessional, she said she learned this tactic from 14 years with Charlie Sheen. Just wait. She will turn on all of us. Then the screen fades to black and says, in the following days, Denise sent cease and desist letters to cast and producers. Now we jump to January 8th, 2020. Another Daily Mail post. Exclusive. Denise Richards stops filming Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after her passionate months-long affair with Brandi Glanville was exposed by castmates on a trip to Rome. Then we see Kyle in her confessional, and she calls Rinna on the phone. She asks her if she saw the headline, and Lisa said yes. Kyle's like, if you get entangled with Brandi, you know it's not going to be kept quiet. I mean, she's right about that. Doesn't mean Brandi's right to have told everybody about it, but yeah, I mean, you probably should know before you get involved with Brandi at all about anything. Rinna goes, yeah, I just don't think Aaron knows. If you ask me, we'll never see Denise Richards again. Okay, now it's 2 weeks later. Denise is in the car coming home from work. She calls Aaron on the phone and she tells him that she's heading over to Lisa Rinna's house. Yeah. Apparently, we see 4 hours earlier in a flashback that she called Lisa Rinna and asked if she could come over and talk in person. Rinna goes, okay, but you have to come here with an open mind and an open heart. Denise goes, I'm not coming for a therapy session, Lisa. I'm coming as a friend. And Lisa's like, well, okay, but you can't beat me over the head because I've somehow not been a good friend to you. So she agrees to see her and she shows up at her house. She walks in and they have a big hug. I mean, it felt genuine because they felt like they really squeezed each other tight and for kind of a long time. So I don't know. I guess it really, maybe I'm just falling for this, but it seemed to me like it spoke to the fact that they actually were friends for 20 years. You know, this isn't just like a housewife friendship. They actually were friends. And now it got all torn apart because Lisa Rinna does anything she can to stay on the show and stay relevant, even if it means destroying relationships in her pathway. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that hug, but it seemed sincere. Rinna says, so how can we move past this? And Denise said, did you know that Brandi was going to be at Dorit's party? And Lisa said, no, I didn't know who was going to be there. I believe her. I think Kyle knew, but I'm not sure Lisa knew. Anyway, Lisa goes, I didn't know who was going to be there. Did you know? And Denise said, yeah, I did. That's why I didn't show up. I wasn't going to let her create some Jerry Springer moment. I get it. You just should have told people. Why couldn't you have told Garcelle, I'm not coming because Brandi's coming? I'm not giving her that Jerry Springer moment. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. Instead of lying, telling producers you had a family emergency. Oh. Was that why? I'm dumb. That's probably why she did it. I'm guessing that she was sort of contractually obligated to go to Dorit's party, maybe. Anyway, Rinna goes, so no family emergency? No, Rinna, you know that. She just said that. Denise said, no, Lisa. Well, we were worried about you. I see where this is going. And Rinna is in full mean girl attack mode. Completely. So forget what I said about a sincere hug and a 20-year friendship. Either she's compartmentalizing that in some way, shape, or form, or she's like a sociopath. I don't know what's happening here, but she's in attack mode right now. And it's almost gleeful. There's almost like a glint in her eye as she's going in for the attack. Just, what are you trying to trip up your friend? She's either trying to trip up Denise or she's trying to reiterate in a very clear way that Denise lied, So, no family emergency when she knows there wasn't one. And even the, we were worried about you. This like guilt thing then, or whatever she's trying to do. I don't know, but it's not pretty. But the worst is yet to come. We'll get to that in 1 second. Rinna goes, not that it's any of our business what went on. Denise goes, nothing went on. Nothing happened. Why won't you believe me? Rinna, I don't know what to believe, Denise. Those text messages between you and Brandy, that confused me. There was a long chain of texts. You had at least a friendship with her. Denise Richards in her confessional is like, I don't care about the texts. There's an app that can revise text messages. I don't know. If she's saying that Brandy like faked text messages back and forth between them, I don't know about that. But she goes on to say in her confessional, if I'm put in a position where I need to show texts, I will show all of Brandy's texts and Lisa Rinna's. And I don't think either one of them would want me to do that. But I will. Ooh. Oh boy. Rinna goes, it's not my business, but why don't you talk to Brandy Glanville? Meet with her and be like, what the f- are you doing? And Denise goes, why would I engage with her at all? I'm dealing with it, trust me. Now here's where Rinna gets so evil, you guys. I'm going to try and recreate it exactly with the exact tone. I can't really do a Rinna voice, but I'm going to do the tone exactly the way she did it, okay? All right, she goes, a cease and desist? There's a long, long, long pause. And Denise goes, she gives this little kind of shrug. Rinna, you tried to get the footage taken out, didn't you? Baiting her. Denise goes, who told you that? Rinna. Denise, who told you that? Rinna, ooh, you're so angry. Just like that. That sucking in and then, oh, right? Oh, did I hit a nerve? Oh, that is not how a real friend would act. Even when two friends are fighting about something. That was nasty. That was evil villain stuff. And, brava, Lisa Rinna, because if that's a part you're playing, you are doing a great job. Denise says no, that she's not angry, and Rinna goes, yes, you are. And she said, no, you're playing dirty. I'm playing dirty? And then Denise goes, this is slanderous. Why would I engage with her? So they actually try and figure out how they can move forward. Yikes, I would never want to move forward with my friendship with Lisa Rinna. Denise tells her that she warned her girls, you're going to hear things about me that are not true. Just try and rise above it, ignore it, stuff like that. God, those poor kids, I can't even. In Rinna's confessional, she said, I am not going to change my point of view, and she's not changing hers. And, we're going to have to just agree to disagree, but I think this is where my friendship with Denise hits a dead end. All right, so in the next scene, Sutton has arranged for a private jet to take her, Lisa, Teddy, and Kyle to New York City to go visit Erica and see her in Chicago. I guess Dorit was meeting them there because she's coming from Mexico. And Sutton said that when she told Garcelle, she just said, okay, have fun. She didn't want to go either. So now all the women, minus Garcelle and Denise, are in the Big Apple They all get their picture taken with Erica in front of the big billboard with Erica on it in Times Square. And then all the little season finale wrap-ups for each begin. And we start with Erica. Erica earned rave reviews for her performance on Broadway, but the show was shut down after 2 months due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So she returned to LA to be with Tom. That was a weird little thing to end it with, right? That she returned to LA to be with Tom? Like, of course she did. Garcelle, now we see Garcelle with her boys at a Black Lives Matter protest. And hers says, Garcelle realized she wasn't sweet on Chocolate Michael. She's on the hunt for someone spicier. I liked Chocolate Michael. I thought he was cute and I thought he was good for her. Oh, wow. I guess she knows him better than I do. Now Teddy. On February 25th, Teddy gave birth to baby girl Dove, but she still finds time to burn off the baby weight. Now we see Teddy and Kyle walking together, going for like a hike, and they both have masks on. Kyle's way behind Teddy. They joked about they're more comfortable being like 10 to 12 feet apart than 6. And then we get Kyle's wrap up. Kyle's fashion line is being sold online. Her loungewear is selling through the roof during quarantine. I wonder how well her line would have done without the quarantine. Now Denise's Bold and the Beautiful was one of the first shows to restart production. Because of health protocols, Aaron has been a stand-in for Denise's love scenes. How does that work? I mean, I get it for rehearsal, but like, how would they shoot that with the real actor she's supposed to have the scene with? I don't know. Lisa Rinna. With Harry home from the East Coast, Lisa returned to her one true passion, dancing on Instagram. And finally, Dorit. Although her Capri room is closed due to COVID-19, Dorit's kitchen is open for Phoenix's new cooking show. Phoenix looks so old here, you guys. She was like a baby last season. I feel like she got 3 years older in 1 year. And that's it. Yeah, I forgot that Sutton isn't a full housewife and she doesn't get her final little wrap-up statement. So, unfortunately. Maybe next year Sutton will be full-time, I hope. Well, what I had heard was that it wasn't that Bravo didn't want her to be a full housewife. It was some kind of a legal issue with her ex-husband, and he didn't want to show her kids. And then because she's not showing her kids, Bravo wouldn't let her do it or something like that. I know that can't be totally it, because look at Tamra. Simon wouldn't let her underage kids be on the show at all, and that wasn't an issue for her. So there's got to be a little bit more to the story. Hopefully everything is cleared for her to be a full housewife next season, but well, I guess we'll have to see. All right, that's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We've got 3 reunion episodes coming up. I'm excited. Denise will be there, at least until she walks off, I guess. But I will be here to recap it all. So I hope you join me. I will see you next week for reunion part 1 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget to wear a mask and wash your hands often. I care about you guys. I want you to be safe. I want us all to be safe. Bye.